So the painting I have here is The Funeral of Toguiyati. It's by Italian artist Renato Guttuso, created in 1972. It's a painting, acrylic on paper, and it's applied to wooden panels. The actual dimensions are 340 by 440 centimeters, which makes it large, with the equivalent in inches and feet being 13 feet by 16 and a half feet. And the context is that this is the death of a very prominent communist leader in Italy. Now, he was never the prime minister, but there were two parties. One that was started by Benito Mussolini, which was the fascist party, and there was a sort of resistance party, which was the CPI, the Communist Party of Italy. And this is one of their leaders, and Renato Guttuso is a strong supporter of this. He was against fascism. He became actually against fascism because of paintings he had seen while studying art in college. And this was somebody who, if you were like an active member of the Communist Party in Italy, this was a man that you highly revered. So as far as the subject matter of the artwork, it's in the title. It is The Funeral of Toguiyati. But it's but it actually shows the reaction. Like, people mourned his death, and it also it showed the support that he still had after its death. This wasn't a celebration of his death, but it was a celebration of what he actually stood for. So how does the artwork relate to power and politics? So basically it shows the effect that a powerful man, a powerful political figure like Toguiyati, leaves after his death. Like the greatest power a political leader can have is when he shows, the greatest power that a political leader can have is when his message continues after his death. When his death doesn't mean the end of things that he stood for and things that he fought for. And because you see that in this image, there are people raising this like power fist, which is a symbol for communism at the time, and red flags, which are basically supposed to be communist flags. And you see that the image is overcrowded with people along Toguiyati's casket right here. That shows immense power that your message can carry on after you die. As far as formal elements go, he uses color and emphasis here very well. He uses color actually to emphasize parts of this this painting, sorry. So if you see, as far as he uses color, he uses, more than half this painting is black, white, or gray, which don't stand out. They don't make your eyes look at it. And any other colors used are essentially red, yellow, or a mix of orange in this skyline. So that's the focus. We're supposed to look at this. We're supposed to look at the wreath of flowers along the casket. We're supposed to look at the skyline, and we're supposed to look at the flags. We're supposed to notice that there's a strong waiver of support, which is what the flags represent here. Not represent, I mean, they symbolize, but that's not something I was trying to get into. Okay, so as far as content elements go, I have them here. So it was metaphor and iconography, and I wanted to talk about how the two formal elements I talked about actually go in with the content element, which is a metaphor, which is the skyline right here. It's very important, I think. I think it's actually probably the most subtle thing in the painting, which is that this sky, it's not black and white and gray and dull like the things that aren't important in this painting, you know. He chose to draw emphasis on skyline. I think it's because it's a metaphor for Toguiyati's death. It's a not a sunrise, the other one, a sunset. It's a sunset, which you can see as a metaphor for dying, for a funeral. This is the end of his life. The sun goes down, the sun comes up, etc., right? But the skyline is also red and yellow. So I don't think that's meant to symbolize that communism is dying or that his influence is dying, but I think that's meant to show that, like, his funeral is attached to his ideas, his communist ideals, his politics. They're all infused in the sunset, which is his funeral. And the second one was iconography. The flags are, they don't have the stars that are there that are supposed to be there for communist countries, not for the communist countries, for the Soviet Union flag, but it is the communist flag. It's red. This is a communist leader. The people are waving red flags. They're putting up a power fist. Like these are communist flags. That's clear iconography used in this painting. And then, I think I covered how the formal and content elements enhance the subject matter. And then the last question was, does the artwork challenge or reinforce existing ideas of power and politics? I'd say it just reinforces. Like, the idea here is, like, the man died, he passed away, but his ideas didn't. Like, the sunset, the end of his life, is intertwined with his political ideals, and that's what that is. And then you see a stream of people. Like, I don't think anything except the sunset doesn't have people in this image. Everybody is putting up their fists, they're waving their flags, and it's very clear that this is meant to say that what he did is carried on after he died. It doesn't end here, I think, is what the image is meant to say. But thank you for watching this, and yeah.